Hey y'all, hi. I am gonna put on makeup today here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel Hannah Louise posted. I have all this NARS makeup. NARS has been like sending me makeup, which is really unexpected. And the recent NARS PR package was all of this complexion stuff. And it's like they're illuminating light reflecting. So it's like light reflecting primer, light reflecting foundation, light reflecting eye brightener, which spoiler alert, I almost didn't even try it because I thought it wouldn't work for my complexion. And I'm obsessed with it. I've been using this makeup and I really like it and I want to share it with you. Not sponsored or anything. This is just like, I wanted to film a makeup video and then I got really excited because I have been road testing this makeup and it's going to be fun to show it to you and just like give a full review. But I didn't want it to be all new makeup. I feel like I've been talking a lot about brand new makeup a lot and trying a lot of brand new makeup a lot, which is fun content to make. I think enjoyable content to watch. And it's totally understandable why with new makeup at my disposal, I keep doing that. But I also kind of miss like revisiting and reviving my old makeup, which I still use, but I don't want to fall into that habit of only using my old makeup off camera and always using new makeup on camera. So to balance out the newness, I dug into my drawers back there where a lot of my old makeup is kind of semi-languishing, and I pulled out some like classic things that I wanted to try again, wear again, just like reminisce about. So it's going to be like a mix of old and new. If you are new and not old to my channel, this started as a beauty channel, but I also now make a lot of fashion content. So if you're interested in either or both of those things, stick around. Also check out my book, which is a prize-winning book of poetry. I will link that at the top of the description box down below. And now let's get into the meat of the video. What a day. I'm recovering still from sickness. I'm fine. I'm a lot better today. I did film yesterday kind of in a state of actual sickness. I just had to. The show has to go on, you guys. We're like chugging along over here, okay? It's a machine, which is great. It's great to have a business running like a business should, but it's tough. It's tough when you work for yourself if you get sick. There's not really like a provision for it. Today, I feel a lot better. I just still sound sick, so apologies. I'm taking a break from the nails. I take long breaks from wearing the false nails, but I usually do it during long stretches of time when I'm not filming, and I usually time it so that that will work. And so usually when I'm on camera, I have the nails, which I just love. Because I got sick, I didn't film during my normal window this week, and then the nails started falling off. And now here I am on camera with natural nails, which are actually totally fine, except that mine are covered with glue. Let's start. NARS Light Reflecting Hydrating Primer. This is a pretty lightweight primer. It feels nourishing. It feels like good skincare. It does add shine. It's nice and reflective, but it doesn't add weight to the skin. That's the thing that I've been really liking about this. It is lightweight on the skin. You know, it adds some highlighting, but it really is like an underpainting level of highlighting. It's nice and glowy, but it doesn't create like a Tin Man metallic face that there's just no way of covering up no matter what products you use. It dries down. It becomes one with the skin. I just really, really like it. So here you can see what it looks like on one side of the face when it's not on the other side. My skin was already a bit dewy from a lot of skincare that I put on earlier, but I feel like you can still see the difference. And on the full face, it's definitely illuminating. The thing about layering all these light reflecting products is like, how much light reflecting is too much? You know, like a light reflecting primer, light reflecting under eye, light reflecting everything. Everything's light reflecting, and then you get it all on. And I mean, I worried that I would get it all on and I would be like reflecting light like a mirror ball in a disco here, there, everywhere. You know, my thing always with NARS is like, I struggle with the color choices and the color cosmetics. I feel like the tones aren't always balanced the way that I want, although recently they've had some good ones. But the formulas I feel like are really good. Since this is all complexion stuff, I've really gotten along with it because I feel like NARS really has a grip on the balance between dewiness, luminosity, and wearability, especially for someone with maturing skin. So this is just a really nice all-purpose illuminating primer. It's glowy, but not as glowy as something like Auric Glow Lust. Texturally, it does that thing. It provides like a nice, ever so slightly grippy surface for makeup to adhere to, but without it being some kind of dramatic thing. This is the Night Reflecting Eye Brightener in the lightest shade Night Swan. This is a kind of product that I have never understood, never needed, and also never gotten along with, like never felt like I could work with, because look, it's like this peach color that's darker than my skin. At least that's what it looks like in the pot. The last thing I would think one would want would be light reflecting under the eyes, because I feel like it would call attention to kind of creasing and the shapes under there that you don't want attention called to. And the thing is, until recently, I have rarely, if ever, never ever had dark circles. It's just genetically, I don't deal with dark circles. It's one of the ways in which I lucked out. But lately, being sick, having a toddler, crying my eyes out sometimes because, you know, the weight of the world is upon all of our shoulders and it's dark times. I have had dark circles sometimes. I literally almost didn't keep it. And then one morning I was like, let's just see how ridiculous this dark peach shiny thing looks on my under eye. You know, my dark circles aren't like it's not really what a lot of people deal with. It's not as bad today as it has been, but I hope you'll still be able to see what I've seen because I really want to show you the difference. So it feels quite creamy and a little bit melty going on. It feels pretty full coverage, but not intensely so. It does seem to have some illuminating qualities, but not in an unflattering way, just in kind of a brightening way. And it blends out and kind of sinks into the skin really easily. And I hope that you can see the difference. So it's on this side, but not on this side. I have had darker circles under my eyes some of these days this week than I have today. So it's not as dramatic a difference. Even subtly, it's like quite brightening on this side. And I really also like bringing it in and tapping it on the inner corner, basically like a little bit of foundation eye makeup to brighten the very inner corner, but in a way that looks like it's organic to your skin rather than being a makeup look. I've been doing that with it. I don't have experience with this kind of product, so I was kind of expecting it to crease throughout the day, and I haven't noticed it doing that. I'm really impressed by it, and it's exciting again to like try a type of makeup that I haven't used in my makeup life and get along with it. That really adds some spice to my life right now. And I've just been using my finger, but I imagine it's better applied with a brush. Actually, let me see if I can find a brush for it. Oh yeah, this Sarah Creole. This brand sent me their concealer, and it was way too dark and peach for me, the lightest shade, although I know Lauren really likes it. I actually really thought it was impressive, the texture of it, but it was just completely impossible for me to use because the shade range isn't wide enough, but I really like the brush, so maybe it'll be good for this. Okay, it's a lot quicker and easier to apply with a brush, but I feel like the product really benefits from me using my finger to press it into my skin. So I was able to get it all over the area where I wanted it much more quickly with the brush, and into the inner corner much more quickly, like 10 times faster. But then as the last step, I pressed it into my under eye area with my finger just to kind of warm it up and really make it blend into my skin. I feel like I can see a difference. The thing I really like about this is it's like no makeup. Like this would brighten my face and I feel like make me look a little bit healthier and more awake. Even on a day when I was wearing no other makeup, it doesn't look weird with no other makeup. Whereas when I put concealer, my concealers in my under eye, they are so brightening and sort of skin refining that if there isn't other makeup balancing it out, it really looks like there's just a little bit of makeup on one part of the face. This, because it's not too bright, you know, for me, it's like matches and blends in with my unmade up face. It looks very natural. So what a cool thing to like have a new tool in the toolkit. Okay, next step, going to something old, although it's not the oldest of the old. Green color corrector is something that's like old in my makeup life, but this is the only one that I currently have in my collection. And it's what I've been using all the time lately, so you've seen it. And it's also old in that it's like literally empty. I've had many disasters lately actually trying to get the last bit out and then squirting it everywhere, like squirting it all over my mirror or like all over my clothes or something. It's happened at least 3 times. So I just squirted it into my hand. I did purchase a new green color corrector. It should be here soon. I hope it'll be here any day now because this one is complete. It's on its very last leg. It's on its last toe. It's on its last toenail. This is possibly the last splotch I'm going to get out of it. I want to put such a small amount on. I'm actually going to use this old Esom brush, the T45. It's synthetic and it's like a paddle brush. I wonder what this will be like for green color corrector. It's synthetic and the bristles are a little plasticky if I remember correctly, so I think maybe it won't soak into them the way that it has been into some of my other brushes. I really want a super thin but precise application, so this is sort of experimental. Yeah, that did paint on a thin layer really effectively. I might keep using this for color corrector. I like this because it's causing me to look really critically, analytically at my face and really ask myself, which are the areas on my face that are actually red, that actually have enough redness for me to want to neutralize it, and then only going in to color correct on those parts of my face. So today it's like mostly the lower half of my face. My forehead's not red, underneath my eyes isn't red, my cheeks aren't even really red. It's like down here, sort of hormonal redness on the sides of my face and on my chin. Having this tool, which again is something I've had for a really long time, time and just haven't really dug out and used and gotten back in touch with. Having this precision tool is making me be more precise, and that means that I don't have to apply as much makeup, or I don't end up applying as much makeup. And I really like that. I really like the complexion that I've ended up with here, and I just don't feel like I need all that much coverage. But I do want to show you the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation because it's an interesting product. This is the shade Siberia. I wish it were more olive, and it is quite light, but it definitely works for me. It's a nice shade for me. The thing that's interesting about this product is that it's so liquidy. It's incredibly liquidy, like not even serum-y. I would call it watery. I didn't get a satisfying dribble down my hand from the first pumps that I put on my hand, so I added another pump so that you could really get a sense of how drippy and watery it is. And that impression is exacerbated by how thin it is when you start to apply it. It's just like really, really a thin, watery substance. I've been using this Rephr LC03 brush. I've been getting it all over the brush first because I recently saw a Katie Jane Hughes reel in which she talked about how much better your makeup applies when you get it all over the brush. Get the proper amount on the brush first and then go in instead of applying it straight to your face in any way. So that's what I've been doing, and then I've just been brushing it on, gently kind of buffing it out in a very thin layer all over. And there it is, just on one half of the face. So it's on this side of my face and not on this side. It's the thinnest layer. It's the smallest amount. It's unbelievably nothing how much it is there. It's almost too much coverage for me, especially given how much mileage I got out of that green color corrector and the way that I applied it. It's almost like too refined, like too polished. I feel like my skin looks a little bit unnaturally flawless on this side, which that's cute for camera, you know, but that's not necessarily what I want in the everyday. You know, I want my skin to look real, not too made up. Whereas with just the green color corrector, it looks more real. It's pretty intense. Like, it's really makeup artistry makeup, it feels to me. You know, it's really intense, or high polish, high glam, full beat, that kind of makeup, but still very refined, you know? The color is more yellow than anything. It's more yellow than it is olive. That's way better for me than it being peach or pink, which tend to be like the two undertones that really feel wrong on me and are hard for me to work with. So not as good as a true olive, but way better than a peach or a pink. I'm gonna get the other side caught up. Okay, there it is on the rest of my face, and I'm putting on an incredibly thin layer again. So little blemishes are showing through, little scars are showing through a little bit. They're quite toned down, but the effect of them is softened by the very beautiful finish. And it especially looks beautiful on camera and under these lights. Close up, it's a little dry. Like, you can see the dryness of my skin around my nose where I've been sick and I've been blowing my nose. You can kind of see it on my skin a little bit. It's not that totally undetectable makeup that really melts away into absolute nothing way up close. But the trade-off is how incredibly beautiful it looks from this distance. So it makes me think that the whole light reflecting thing, it's kind of about the way that it interacts with lighting, maybe even with camera equipment, you know, like this is amazing makeup for somebody who films like I do. But I think that for wearing around in the everyday, I could see myself after playing with it a bunch and enjoying that a bit, going back to like the Lisa Eldridge skin tint or the Refi concealer for the everyday because of how spectacular they look in person. I love how thin it is though. I really like working with it. I bet if I were someone who wore more full coverage foundation and who was building it up in a thicker layer, it would be a really good option for that type of application and do something that, for example, the Lisa Eldridge skin tint as a tint doesn't do. But I have really applied it as a tint. Like, this is a tint level. What I've been doing next, they sent me the entire line of this, and there's this translucent crystal light reflecting pressed setting powder. I have been using this puff to set parts of my face, which is just something I haven't done in a really long time because I've used a bit of powdering on a brush. This kind of really pressing in setting powder, look at the difference it makes. So it's on this side and on my forehead and on this side of my mouth, but not on that side. This line is funny because it's like light reflecting, light adding, light all over the place. And then it's like, and then tone it down with this powder that sets and mattifies a little bit, but keeps it very luminous. And it's all very lightweight layers, which is what I appreciate. But you know, foundation on top of color corrector on top of an illuminating primer, and then with powder pressed on top, it's all starting to be a really, you know, like a full complexion makeup look, which isn't what I tend to do these days. It's just undeniably, it's reading really beautifully on camera. Okay, very porcelain doll. After all that illuminating and light reflecting, very porcelain doll vibes. I haven't spot concealed. I don't really feel like I need to. You can see a couple of little spots and scars, but it's just like, who cares, you know? Especially with the base looking so unnaturally flawless. It's like good to have a little bit of visible flaw, I feel. It's such a pleasure. Here's the thing. This is a lot of makeup for me, and it's this like porcelain doll complexion is a bit, for me in my life right now and what I do in the everyday, it's a bit try hard. Like it's just too much. And it's not just that I did try hard and that there are a lot of layers and that you can see a little bit of the makeup on the skin if you get up really close. It's the aesthetic, like the seamless, airbrushed aesthetic for the skin is a little bit out of place. It's like the formality level of the makeup is too high for my everyday life. However, it's such a pleasure to work with these products because of the way that they integrate with each other, the way that they kind of all serve one purpose, the elegance of the formulas. And as a makeup reviewer and tester, that is what has really pleased me as I've been testing them over the past several days. And that is what I wanted to bring to you. That helps me. I was struggling to put together why I kept saying, I really love it, but it's not right for me. Like that's kind of what I keep saying, even though I've professed to have worn it several days in a row and loved it, which I have. That explains it. This porcelain doll vibe is not quite right for me in my life right now, but I cannot help but respect and appreciate the formulas as a makeup lover. That's almost all of it for the NARS Light Reflecting. They also sent the setting mist, which maybe I'll try at the end. Again, not my usual vibe. It does, I have used it a couple of days. It does bring back some of the light reflecting, right? Some of the illuminating. And I want to dig into some of the non-NARS, non-new products. And this is one of them. I opened the drawers back there, and actually it was a little bit tragic because I opened the drawers thinking, ooh, I'm going to dig out some old favorites, something that people who have been around on the channel for a long time will recognize as like an oldie but a goodie. I opened the drawers, there's like nothing in them. I opened them, it was like poof, like puffs of air coming out, puffs of air and dust. It's like a ghost town back there because my makeup is chaotically everywhere because it's never been reorganized back into those drawers since we moved. And every time I open them, I remember this, but then in my mind, I still have this fantasy that like everything's back there, everything's organized, but no, it's in like boxes on the side, bins around the office, old and new kind of all mixed together. If you look up absolute chaos in the dictionary, what you see is an abstract portrait of my makeup collection. So it was kind of slim pickings back there. And this is what stood out to me the most for blush. This is the Gucci blush in Rosy Beige. In theory, a stunning color. It looks stunning for me in the pan. It looks perfect in the swatch, but I've struggled with it because it has kind of intense reflect. What I remember is that it sort of unflatteringly highlights the planes of the face and makes my face look like a little lumpy, or it's just hard to work with, hard to apply evenly. I don't remember what it was, but I remember really loving it, coveting it, cherishing it, buying it for myself because I really wanted it because I love the packaging, struggling with it, being disappointed by it, not understanding it, trying to declutter it, and then not being able to declutter it because I love the packaging and the object so much, and then it's just been sitting back there. Let's see what's going on with this. What I want to do. So this is actually maybe a bronzing brush from Redness. This is the 30, which is what I've been using, and this is the 22. The 30 is like this big fluffy fan brush for bronzing. I think this, the 22, is the dupe for the Tom Ford bronzer brush. Yeah, this is the dupe for the Tom Ford bronzer brush. So this is a bronzer brush. So I'm going to basically try bronzing with this and see if, oh my gosh, I'm worried it's going to like ruin everything. Tapping off the brush out of fear. Okay, so first round, I've put a pretty light application on my cheeks using this big fluffy brush and brought some of it up onto my forehead. This to me is just like the first layer. There's something weird about it. In person, looking in the mirror, it actually looks okay. I have a mirror right here. So I'm looking in the mirror. The mirror doesn't pick up as much of that like high shine. And so it actually looks okay. It doesn't look great, but it actually looks okay. But on camera, it's like my cheek looks a little dirty, isn't it? And what it is, it's like the metallic dirtiness. There's something about the way that the metallic particles in it reflect at least off of my skin. Maybe it's because I'm so pale. It doesn't look good. This is it. This is the nail in its coffin, y'all. Not only am I not going to keep it, I'm not even going to keep using it right now. I liked where I was going and I don't want to mess it up. Okay, here's another very old blush from my collection. It's also like a luminous powder blush. This is a Chantecaille. It's like the Chantecaille version of the exact same thing. Chantecaille Lotus Blossom Radiant Blush. This was limited edition from the holiday collection like several years ago, which is why I never really use it on camera, but that's what today is about, okay? I'm going to keep with the same same brush, and I'm gonna load it up with this, which is a much lighter color, if I remember correctly. Also luminous, but has never given me the same kind of, oh no. Okay, so I've really burnished this cheek with it. And I was gonna say it's also luminous, but it's never really given me the same kind of problem. But I think maybe I just picked up way too much of it on the bronzer brush. I think maybe trying to bronze with these illuminating blushes has been my problem. I feel like I have no choice but to get the other side caught up, even though I don't like how this looks, and then do some like disaster remediation from there. Wow, it's weird. I feel like I used to look like this a lot when I did my makeup, and now I really just don't like it. I don't know if it's like times have changed or I've changed. This isn't true of all of my old makeup, right? Some of it, it's just I haven't cycled it into use as much, but it's still great. But I think at least the Gucci one, I think I've not been using it because I don't really like it. I don't really like how it looks, even though it's a little bit user error right now because I'm using that giant brush. How are we gonna fix this? I wonder what would happen if I use the NARS powder on a brush. This is helping some to take down like the metallic shine, but my cheek is still left looking a little bit dirty. I think because the edges of the blush application are being revealed to be a little bit unblended maybe, now that the shine has been taken down. It could be worse, but I also don't particularly love it. I'm going off brief a little bit, off of the brief of using old things. I'm going to use this bronzer from What's Up Beauty that I've been using a lot lately because it's so light, so I can use a lot of it without it getting overboard. I can kind of bronze my whole face with it. It's sort of difficult for me to mess up, and it's matte. So I'm going to use this all over this whole cheek situation and on some other parts of my face too to try to kind of blend everything in. Okay, putting this all over my face, all over my forehead, all down my neck as well, on my jawline, and really kind of bronzing with the face and all over the cheeks. It has made my cheeks look a little bit less like a dirty splotch. My whole face is much rosier, bronzier, kind of. The metallic reflect of, well, I think it's both the Gucci blush and the Chantecaille blush just will not quit, right? It's like still there. And it's really interesting to me how much I dislike that. So my last attempt is going to be to take NARS Laguna, which when I looked this up to link it last time, I realized that this face palette actually comes in 3 shades. There's a light, a medium, and a dark. The one they sent, I think, just in all the PR packages is the medium. So this Laguna 03 is actually a pretty deep bronzer for me, pretty intense, more of like a blush bronzer, which kind of makes sense with how it was reading. But I've been working with it, tapping the brush off. It's been working. Maybe this will help the cheeks. I'm also going to bring this onto my eyes. Okay, so I'm using a blush brush to apply this, which is maybe the wrong move yet again. I'm kind of all over the place today. I'm doing that though because I really like this little blush brush, the Effort 37, for putting bronzer on my eyelids. And so I'm doing that and also using it to take it down onto my cheeks, and then kind of buffing and evening it all out with the bronzer brush again and kind of trying to fill in the gaps. It hasn't really taken care of that weird metallic shine. I don't know, it's made me look like really cheek makeup-y, really bronzy, a little more orangey, but in like a sunset-y way that I think I can kind of handle. I'm sort of not sure what I'm doing anymore. I'm like totally lost. It's wearable. The thing that would really help that I just haven't wanted to give up and do is going back in with liquid foundation, basically covering up that shiny blush. But there's now so much powder on my cheeks that I don't think that would be a good move anymore. So I think I'm just gonna live with this. Maybe with a lip and some mascara. Okay, so I don't have any old mascara back there. I've kind of become a mascara minimalist. I'm just using 1 or 2 at a time. Right now I'm really working on using up the caliray mascara, this little mini. I really like how sort of raspy it's getting as it dries out. It's not getting dried up, you know, but it was really wet to begin with, and it's easier to work with now. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going back with the NARS Puff. The NARS Puff on the powder one more time, especially under here. I just don't like how it's shining. Oh, that really kind of helped. That helped with the issue that I'm having. Like the metallic shine at this place where the cheekbone turns into the bottom half of the cheek. And also I'm not the biggest fan of the metallic shine directly under the eye. Still hitting a little funny right here, but that helped. I mean, we've gone off the rails. Like this is a makeup look that I would only end up with because of trying makeup on camera and like trying to fix, just experimenting. All right, this has been been kind of makeup playtime, essentially. I was able to demonstrate the elegant use of those NARS products, and then it went off the rails into this like experimental makeup playtime, which hasn't ended up looking bad. It's just the delicate balance, the sort of details of how it's sitting on my face. I'm not obsessed with it, right? Let's do a lip. So originally when I dug into my lipstick drawer, which again doesn't have that much in it because it's all over the place, I thought, oh, Gucci A Royal Scandal. It's like my original favorite lipstick of all time. And I immediately was like, oh, I'm going to wear that today. That's so exciting to pull that out and to like fully put on A Royal Scandal. Also, it's discontinued. I don't tend to mention it that much anymore on the channel because it's like, I don't think you can get it anymore. So it's just like a real perfect example of old makeup for me. Then I was like, oh, the blush that I picked was Gucci. Maybe I shouldn't just do two Gucci things. It's like my old makeup. So I went and got Merit Baby. I feel like Baby, I don't know which one's going to do it for this look. Because here's the thing. Then the Gucci blush turned out to be a disaster. So maybe Gucci could use some redemption in the form of A Royal Scandal. But what I really want is to put on the one that's going to save the look the best. Merit Baby is this kind of dusky, neutral, grayish mauve. I think actually A Royal Scandal is going to save the look the best because it's a dark, vampy lip on me. So it's going to help balance out and sort of distract the eye from what's going on the rest of the face. Whereas I think Baby would almost highlight and like make more orange what's going on the rest of my face. Okay, sorry, Baby. Wow, I forgot how much I like the texture of this lipstick and the level of pigment. I think in my mind, because the color is so much its most extraordinary feature, I think of it as being really pigmented, but it's actually not. This Gucci lip formula isn't discontinued. They just discontinued the color, or at least it's not carried in most places where I feel like I see this lipstick carried. The Gucci Rouge à Lèvres Satin is a really nice, not over pigmented, but truly lipsticky lipstick. I do think this lip has helped the look. It has made the look all about the lip, and then my face is just quite kind of contoured with color, perhaps. Yeah, it's okay. And with hair down, it's made it, and with hair down and with this tank top on, it's made it very 90s. The lip has made it very 90s, and I feel like that sort of makes excuses for the belabored complexion situation, which is kind of what's going on. Will I go on to film another video looking just like this? I don't know. I have another video on the docket, and I was in theory going to put on this makeup and then go film that other video. That's going to be a fashion like commentary video. I feel like this might be a little bit intense of a look for the fashion girlies. People might click on and then click away when they see me. They're like, I'm not going to take fashion advice from that person. Maybe it'll be fine. Thank you for spending this chaotic time with me. I'm not going to spray the NARS setting spray on because it's illuminating. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've reflected enough light for one day. Nay, for 1 week. I have reflected enough light. The video's over. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in more of my content. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.